Good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining us again for our live video on this Thursday morning. We're talking today about records that don't always aren't always what they first appear. A good example of that would be this one here called McCallum. Very simple instrumental album, not too much going on special with it, except if you do a little bit of digging, you'll discover that the artist, Dave McCallum, was also actually an actor in the 60s and 70s. Nowadays, you might know him best from the show NCIS. So, albums are not always what they first appear. Here's another good example of this. This is an album, actually, that we picked up from one of our regular record collectors only a couple of days ago. You might have seen the post on it before. It's credited as the Beatle Beat by the band The Bugs. There's a good picture of the strapping young lads there on the front, looking very much like the Beatles on their Beatlemania album. It says on the front here, the original Liverpool sound, recorded in England. If you look on the back and you look at some of the song titles, you'll see there's a couple of covers of actual Beatles songs. I Want to Hold Your Hand, She Loves You. There's a number of other original ones that also very much give you a Merseybeat impression. East End, Soho Mash, Liverpool Drag, Swinging Thames. You get the idea. Here's the funny thing about this album. I don't know if anybody remembers from the last Star Wars movie when the character Luke Skywalker said a couple of times, everything about that sentence is wrong. That's kind of what's going on with this album here. This is what I mean. The band The Bugs didn't actually exist as a real band. What did exist was a band called the Coachman 5. They weren't English. They were from New Jersey in the States. They recorded this album under the impression that it was going to be released under their own name, with their own song titles, which weren't these titles here. Much to their surprise, when the album came out, rather than being credited to the Coachman 5, it was credited to this made-up name, The Bugs. To add insult to injury, this picture on the front, not members of the band. It was actually models that they used. Now, the story gets even more interesting. A couple of years later, the same record company literally took all of the unsold copies of this record here, relabeled them with a different name, put it under a completely different looking jacket, and re-released it. Conveniently enough, not including the song titles. That way you wouldn't realize, until it was too late, that you were actually buying the original album from 2 years before. Obviously, this was done to play up on the attention that the Beatles were getting in 1964. It's pretty clear that this was an attempt at un hommage, which, as the joke goes, is a French word meaning complete ripoff. And it fooled a number of people, including the mother of a certain young man who would go on to be a member of the band Devo. He was so upset at being deceived that it inspired, or at least the story goes, the Devo song, You Got Me Bugged, which if you're a fan of the band Devo, you may be familiar with. So it just goes to show that when it comes to albums and the stories behind them, things are often not what they seem to be. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you do find value in them, please don't forget to share and like all of our posts on our Facebook page. You can also check us out at our own website, retrosoundandcollectibles.com. This Saturday, as always, we'll be putting out new records in the store, and we'll also be highlighting on the big wall behind me some of our compilation albums, so be sure to check those out. If you have any questions, you can contact us here at the store or through our Facebook. Otherwise, thanks for listening, and we'll see you soon. Bye for now.